Boo. More spooky, more spooky economic numbers. Oh boy, welcome everybody. It is the Watchdog on Wall Street podcast. Guys, I don't want to be a bearer of bad news. Okay, and honestly, it's not fun. Not fun for me either. But we're brutally honest with you. And for years, we told you a lot of these things were inevitable. They had to happen. And again, if you're smart when it comes to where you are and your asset allocation, and you've got it properly set up for where you are in life, none of these things are going to matter. You're going to forget about this stuff a couple of years from now. It's going to be all but forgotten. And that's just the reality. Inflation. 8.2% core prices hit 4-decade high. Four decade, that dates my career. That's before I was in the industry. Just saying. Okay, I don't go back 4 decades. The Labor Department said the so-called core measure, the Consumer Price Index, which excludes energy and food prices, gained 6.6 in September from a year earlier, up 6.3% in August. Again, housing costs rose by the most since the early 1980s. Strong labor market continues to push up rental rates. Housing makes up the largest share of the core indices. Prices for used cars, apparel, that's cooled off a little bit. Again, I think this is last hurrah to some degree, because again, I'm seeing areas where prices most certainly are coming down outside of the bare necessities. I sang the bare necessities a little bit, a couple bars yesterday on the program. Not going to sing it again from the Jungle Book, but these things, meh. Okay, housing prices up. Don't buy a house. Wait, you're living somewhere now. Okay, wait. And again, it's based upon the market that you're in. This is one of the problems with the housing numbers. Again, I don't trust a lot of these numbers based upon the entire. It's simply because, I'm sorry, housing market in Boise is different than the housing market is in Albany, is different than the housing market is in Tampa, which is different than the market, and I don't know, Austin. You get my drift. Actually, Austin is one of the markets that's really collapsing right now. Again, it's supply and demand. People, they're going to come down. They are. I again, tell you my story, because I'm looking. Okay, I was looking last year. Okay, being honest, I've got 2 more years. I've got a son who's a junior. Okay, he's got to finish this year. He's got to finish next year, and I'm out. Okay. I absolutely love where I live, my neighborhood, the people. It's great. It's a real pretty place. I don't like winter that much, but you know what I really don't like is freaking insane taxes. And this state has freaking insane taxes. So I know I could do the 6 months in a day, but then, I live in a school district where property taxes are to the roof. I'm not going to do it. It's not worth it to me. Okay, it isn't. So I'm going to move. So I'm looking for homes back where I used to live, where I was planning on going back to, down on the west coast of Florida and Tampa and Sarasota. And I'm still looking at the places that were for sale, certain condos, houses. They were for sale a year ago, and they're still for sale today at the same price. So you got a lot of these builders out there seeming to think that magically the market's going to come back. They haven't even lowered their prices due to higher mortgage rates. Because again, you're also dealing in Southwest Florida, a lot of people moving there, selling their houses up here, buying things in cash, or people that are close to retirement or are retired. But they're not moving. I know for a fact they're not moving. So at some point in time, it will break. It will go in the opposite direction. When that occurs, who knows? Who knows? Again, I got to go over the Fed because there's one thing that they've risen rates so quickly. They've slammed on the brakes so hard. I know I've explained this before here on the show. I got to go over it again. Okay. It's not working. Okay. What you're doing is not working. And you get old people say, well, we got to wait for it to work. You got to wait for it. It's not working. Again, the Fed can't fix the problems, can't fix the issues when it comes to energy. The Fed can't fix the issues when it comes to the labor market. They think they can. Again, how do you fix the labor market when people are able to? We mentioned this on the program. You live in the state of Massachusetts, family of four, you can get anywhere between $90,000 to $100,000 a year in government handouts and subsidies. The equivalent, $90,000 to $100,000 a year without working an hour. Well, what in turn maybe those people might do is they might get some sort of, gig job or cash job so the government doesn't find out that they're working so they can keep all their handouts and all their giveaways. How do you deal with that problem? Well, we very simply, I've suggested here, I know you got a lot of crazy right-wing Republican types, anti-immigration types. Do that. Throw them all out. Round them up. Ship them all out of the country. That ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen. So I don't know. Could be me. Call me crazy. We have this resource that's here in this country right now. We have this labor force that we might want to utilize. Just saying. I'm just saying, you know what? We've already made Americans, people with the blue passports, we've already made Americans fat and lazy that they don't want to work because of the handouts. What we do is we're going to have to replace these fat and lazy Americans with the handouts, and we're going to have to replace them with people, immigrants that will work. I'm sorry. Got a better solution to the problem? I got to force all these people off of government handouts. That's not going to happen. It's not. A lot of the excess COVID stuff has gone away to some degree, but some of it's still lingering. And besides that, you don't have to work in this country and you'll get something. So you strike a deal. All right, you're here. You can't get government assistance, but you can work. I'd be doing mass green cards right now. And I'd also be saying, hey, you know what? You had certain types of jobs. I'd give certain training for certain types of jobs. I mentioned this yesterday. Okay, all of the devastation. All of the devastation down in Southwest Florida. My mom goes to her place every single day, and she brings donuts and coffee to the workers there. She got the guys running the crew, and all of his workers are illegal. They're all Guatemalan, and it's as nice as could be. But do you think these houses are going to get rebuilt down there? Do you think all of this stuff is going to be rebuilt without this labor force? It ain't. I'm sorry. I know. You can do all complain about all this. And yes, do we have to deal with knowing who's coming here? Should we be putting a system in place? Yes, we should. Yes, we should. One thing that I think we might be able to get together with, the left and the right coming together and some sort of solution. But no, this is what we get. Nothing. No leadership. Everybody's twiddling their thumbs. Okay? The solution out there, because of the higher wages, is to make people unemployed. How is that smart? We're going to put people on unemployment. That's what they're saying we need to do. We need to make people unemployed in order to fix the economy. That's horseshit. Anyway, the major central banks, again, I talked a little bit about this Judy Shelton piece this past week. I want to get into it again. It's important. They're leery right now. Again, they get the pushback with Liz Truss in the UK. They don't want to have excessive fiscal stimulus. However, this is one of the differences that Judy talks about. Okay, there's a difference between money that is spent wisely money that is invested rather than money that is spent on socialist redistribution schemes. Money that is spent wisely is reinvested, and it creates growth and it increases supply. That's what we need. And we're not getting it. We're not. Anyway, what are you gonna do? I gotta move on. I'm talking about all this spooky stuff, all these economic marketers, whatever it may be. It's tough on everybody, right? Everybody's portfolios are down. Everyone's portfolios are down. Okay. Hopefully you have the type of relationship with your advisor out there where, again, if you have to live off that portfolio, you don't have to sell high quality companies in a down market to pay your bills. You don't want to do that. You've done something wrong and you need some help. Change direction here. I know I'll probably piss a lot of people off. He's obviously got a fan base because he's got massive estates and mansions all over the place. Kind of like Elmer J. Fudd. He owns a mansion and a yacht and then some. Alex Jones is ordered to pay $965 million to the families of Sandy Hook victims in this defamation trial. I think he also just recently got hit with some $40 million settlement, something like that. Let's be honest here. He doesn't have that money. Okay. We all know that Alex Jones doesn't have that money. I don't know. I guess they're talking about some of his assets that he has moved to his wife and whether or not they're going to be able to get them. I'm going to give you, if you want to know what my experience with Alex Jones. Okay. Alex Jones used to have a fringe radio show back when I first started radio, late 1990s, early 2000. Used to be on this network called Genesis, and it was a lot of shortwave type stuff. And I'll never forget this. I was dealing with everything that was taking place. Again, I lived in New York City, 9/11/2001. Okay. I was supposed to go into the city that morning. I didn't because I had a couple interviews I had to do. My wife was there. My sister-in-law was there, but I was planning on going later. Obviously, couldn't go in after everything was taking place. And I was fielding phone calls from various different radio stations and shows that knew me when I was doing guest appearances, wanted to talk about what was taking place and what I had learned. I got a call from the Alex Jones show. And I go on the program, and it was conspiracy theory. This is on the day it happened. On the day it happened, they were talking about that this was some sort of setup. This wasn't real. And I click. I left the program at that point in time. It's been people like this, it's the beginning of time. People bearing, false witness in a myriad of things. And again, he's made himself enormously wealthy. Again, I don't know what he's hidden, what's going to take away. He most certainly doesn't have $1 billion to pay out when it comes to this stuff. But no, not a fan in the slightest sense of the word, that's for sure. Russia, Ukraine. I get the G20 meeting coming up, and I guess Russia's reaching out. From what I'm hearing, Russia reaching out to the United States, see if Putin and Biden can meet on the sideline. Turkey's trying to broker this to try to come up with some sort of solution. I guess we're poo-pooing it. We're dismissing Sergei Lavrov's comments, accusing him of posturing and calling for Russia to stop launching strikes across the Ukraine. I'm sorry. I'm never one you want to ever shut down any sort of line of communication or talk or possibility of of ending something that possibly happens horrible. Why would you do that? Why even play this game of, my you know what is bigger than you know what? And it just, they want to talk. Listen to what they have to say. If you don't agree, walk away. What do we have to lose? It's just talking about posturing. What do you have to lose? Anyway, again, this goes in the face of some of these inflation numbers. U.S. imports sunk in September. It's the steepest drop we've seen since 2020. We talked about the pullback in shipping rates here. Plunging Asian bookings, mass retail order cancellations. It's showing up. U.S. Customs data, inbound volumes to all U.S. ports, down 11% year on year and down 12% from August. Obviously, starting to feel it, starting to hurt. Quick education story here. And it's a bit of a follow-up. People have been listening to the program for a while. And I had major problems with what happened with schools here in this country during COVID and the lockdowns and the effects of those lockdowns. And we're seeing them. We told you this was going to happen. ACT scores, one of the standardized tests, ACT scores have dropped to their lowest level in 30 years. In 30 years. My suggestion was, okay, if you're going to lock down the schools, you're going to cancel half the school year, which is what you did. Okay. What you did. You get certain subjects out there like mathematics and science. You're not in the lab. You don't have you have to start over. And my suggestion was, if you're going to do this, what you need to do is just everybody repeats that year. It is what it is. You shut down, you say it's a pandemic, but they couldn't do it. They couldn't handle it. They had to shove everybody through. Oh, we're concerned. No, you hold everybody back. Unless, of course, somebody chooses not to go. You at least give the option. I was thinking of that scene in Good Will Hunting, or Skylar, is Will Hunting's, Matt Damon's character's girlfriend at the time. She's studying to be a doctor, if I'm not mistaken, at Harvard, and she's in pre-med. And she's doing organic chem. She's talking about how hard it is. But Will, being a genius, was easy to him. And he kind of does the problem, shows her how to do it. And she's like, you don't understand. I need to learn how to do this. This is important. You can't take, in essence, a year away from kids' school and expect them to succeed. They need to learn these things. And I was my biggest concern. It was stressing me the flip out. I'm like, giving my kids extra work to do, hiring tutor, whatnot. I said, you need to know these things. And I knew that they weren't learning them. This Zoom crap. It was all about shove them through the door as soon as possible. And, that's the reason why ACT scores have dropped to their lowest level in 30 years. We're going to be seeing some of the earnings come out, bank earnings coming out tomorrow. Pepsi's numbers were outstanding. Walgreens numbers were outstanding. A lot of these companies are holding up pretty well in the face of everything that is taken place. We shall see if there'll be a bit of a respite. Again, I'll timestamp the podcast today, doing this in the morning. A lot of appointments over the course of the day, and markets reversed. And again, I don't know who in the world, and people thought that the number was going to come in soft. I didn't even see how that was possible. Their numbers are so off and they lag to such a degree. Reversed, markets are down. I don't know where they're going to end up at the end of the day. But again, earnings are going to matter moving forward, and you're going to see adjustments in certain areas. You're going to see which companies have been able to adjust properly, which ones have been able to, push these price increases onto their customer. I mean, the average product price, this is amazing. Pepsi, 17% higher. 17%. The average product price spike, 17% year over year. Ouch. Again, what will people do? Maybe, can't afford to buy that extra pair of shoes. Can't afford to buy something else. And that's just the reality of the situation we're in. Anyway, have a great day, everybody. WatchdogonWallStreet.com is our site. Again, get the help you need. See what we're doing. Okay, get to our site. Check out our Alpha Lock portfolios. Trust me. Just look. Look, it's free. Everything. Just see what we've been up to. WatchdogonWallStreet.com or give us a call, 800-471-5984. Have a great day, everybody.